is a great time to be a Black woman or a woman of color and start a business. Blaze your own path unapologetically.
What drives you in wanting to continue to serve people?
My goal, my deep down inside goal is to touch millions of lives. We've had to learn how to make space for ourselves.
You just wanna be the hot topic, hot topic.
Hello, and welcome. I'm so excited to speak with you today. Rolande Sumner, right?
Yes.
Okay, so cool. Let's just hop right into it. So we already know that we're living through a time of social injustice, experiencing life changes, due to the pandemic, and so much just going on with the deaths going on from public figures and stars, as well as losses due to COVID. So I first want to talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been doing during this time? How have you been holding up?
I've been doing okay. It's different. It's a different time. And so during this COVID time, I've been doing a lot of work on myself because, I just have nothing but time working on myself, pivoting to address clients' needs and, just staying prayerful and positive. It's easy to sink into a negative place. And so it's just the daily work of being grateful for everything we have and understanding that this is just the season we're in.
Yeah,
So
that's good. I'm really glad to hear that. What keeps you motivated and what brings you joy when you do get into those slumps,
what keeps me motivated is my family.
Oh, good.
Because if it was just for me, then I would probably have given up already. It's easy to stay motivated for someone else. So I stay motivated for my family. But for the most part, I can stay positive myself. Like I have friends I turn to. I pray. I have family that I turn to. So I'm not saying every day is 100% roses, but I have a coping mechanism, a healthy coping mechanism to stay in a good place.
And that's what we need, honestly. I think that families, family is everything. Family brings so much joy. And when you're by yourself, when you're isolated, you're only in your own head. So it makes things worse. So I think that's great that you have your family as an outlet that brings you joy and stuff. So I know that you served in the U.S. military. Tell us about your time serving. How long? What branch?
So I served 20 years and I was Army National Guard, but most of that time I was AGR, which is Active Guard Reserve. So it's a hybrid between the regular Army and the National Guard in the sense that we had all of the benefits and responsibilities, but we worked for the National Guard. And it makes it so you don't have to move every couple of years. You stay with your unit until you get promoted to another position or until you choose to move to another area. So it was a good setup because I can be active duty, I can serve every day, I can go to schools and all that wonderful stuff, but I didn't have to travel the world all the time if I didn't want to. It gives you a little bit more flexibility.
Oh, that's good.
Courses through most of it, heavy vehicle operator, and also I was a mechanic for like 3 days. So I did, a few things. I did a few jobs. I was a platoon leader. So the wonderful thing about it is working with soldiers and helping them become the best person that they can be. I learned a lot about myself and a lot how to treat people. Okay. So yeah.
So I know you're CEO of your very own company called Lasco. So this is like the main reason why you're here. Tell us about that in detail and also your why for starting it, because the message behind it I think is so beautiful.
Thank you. So Lasco stands for Life After Service Transitional Coaching. And the values of Lasco primarily focused around leadership, making sure that my clients are getting the compassion they need, abundance, and things of that nature, stability. The reason I started life after service transitional coaching was because one, I had a skincare business and all I did was talk to women veterans and try to uplift them. And it felt natural to me to be a coach. The second reason is because I didn't want another veteran to transition out of the military into their new life and not have support. I was really focused on women veterans, particularly because when people think of veterans, they still think of white males.
Mm.
So oftentimes, women of color and you're a veteran, you kind of get put to the back burner. There's a lot of discrimination that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when on top of that, if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're really not giving as much support as you need. So what made me different than the SBA and SBDC was instead of giving pieces of information and saying, hey, come back to me when you finish that part, and they're great organizations, I stick with the veteran through the mindset shifts. I stick with the veteran through the ups and downs of trying to figure out their idea. I really work with them on identifying what really is important to them and what they really want so that they can start a business that is all about where their dream is.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of starting a business that everybody else says you have to start or someone else's business model and it not working, you start something that is about your values that you identified that you had, about the dreams that you identified that you have. How much money do you want to make? Do you want to travel? Is your business model going to accommodate that? Are you, really fighting yourself? Are you doing just the opposite? I've moved on to, and since I've made the business launch prep school,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps pretty much anybody who joins the annual program, it helps them develop their dream from scratch all the way to the process of getting their business license, their Duns and Bradstreet number, their CAH numbers, and really getting ready to serve the community they've chosen to serve on a bigger level. Right now in this season, I'm focused on offering the AAA approach, which is basically I go into organizations, my team and we help organizations retain their veterans. Mm. What happens is millions of dollars are being spent to recruit veterans, but there's not a lot of work after the veteran is hired. Companies are losing tens of thousands of dollars a year, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, because they're not sure what the veteran needs and how to prepare their first level leaders on how to give it to them. So the first level leaders aren't getting a whole lot of support, and the veteran isn't getting what they need. And there are some things that we always look for when we go into a new job. One is advancement opportunities. We're not particularly looking to advance tomorrow. We just want to know the rules of the game. What goes into me advancing? What are the rules? What school do I need to go to? Who do I need to talk to? What is the standard? What does right look like? And when you teach us those rules, we understand that you care enough about us to prepare us. We are not built to just be in a position and stay there. We're always built on looking to the next level and the next level. And with a lot of civilian organizations, they don't really lay that out for you. In the military, it's laid out for us. On day one, you can read any regulation. They're preparing your mindset to grow in leadership. And so that's what we're looking for. The next thing is professional development. We are professional development addicts. There is no idle moment when you're in uniform. You have a soldier's manual, you have some on-the-spot training. There's always an opportunity to develop professionally at all levels. Even at the lowest private level, it's like, look, this is a lesson. I want you to learn the lesson and teach it to your friends. So when we're walking into an organization and we don't see that there's different professional development opportunities at all levels, then we just assume you don't care and that there's never going to be an opportunity for us to grow. So why should I stay?
Right.
We kind of disengage. So I teach first level leaders how to develop those professional development opportunities at the lowest level with little to no cost. We don't have to have formal training, but we do have to have the opportunity to grow. So in your organization, what initiatives are you starting that you need a volunteer? Can this veteran or this new employee grow in an area they need to grow in through that initiative? You know, have you talked to them and figured out what they want to learn and how you can take the benefits they already have that's offered to them and the opportunities in the organization to hone in those specific skills? There's always opportunities. You just have to know how to put it together and offer it to your new hire and your veteran so that they can grow. And guess what? You didn't pay any extra money because you had initiatives. You know, they had benefits already. They had tuition assistance. There are all these different opportunities that you were going to give them anyway. Mm-hmm. But now it's in a clear and concise manner that makes sense. It's strategic, and they understand this is for their growth.
Wow, that's amazing. You're really informative about everything that you're doing. So I know that what you do, you absolutely love, which is amazing to me. So you mentioned, well, we already know that being a Black American, African-American woman in the military isn't going to be easy at all. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite quotes is, adversity is necessary to build character in people. Describe a time you faced a challenge and how that made you stronger.
So I faced a lot of challenges in the military, but I have to say the biggest challenge was how I handled adversity. In my immaturity, I acted like a brat sometimes. I kicked and screamed and tried to act like the boys, and it didn't work. And I was wondering why, why isn't the system working for me? And I was so hung up on the system not working for me that I never took a step back and figured out how I can work it myself. That's not to say that there wasn't any systematic issues going on, but many times you can't fix the systematic issues overnight.
That's true.
So what can you do for yourself to make that journey a little bit easier? I had a self-worth issue. I really just took how other people perceived me and their rejection of me as a sign that I wasn't worth it. And so I kept attracting more opportunities where people would reject me. So if you're putting out that you're going to get rejected, you're going to attract those opportunities to be rejected. I didn't use all of my different skills to convey my frustration and to ask for help. So a lot of times, I would be put in a bad situation, and instead of me thinking critically and just calming down long enough to see the whole picture, I would react. And then I would wonder why I wasn't getting promoted or how come I wasn't getting my way. And so since I've been out, I've taken and had therapy, coaching, all of the, mental health and professional development type of work and activities. I've learned that I could have handled a lot of things better, which would have made me happier, which would have helped me attract better opportunities, because I was a hard worker. I was always chosen to do jobs that were above my pay grade and to fix crazy messes. But then when it came time to get pinned, it was like, no, you're not ready. Well, why aren't I ready? And I didn't know how to articulate my frustration. So I just misbehaved. I just was running around like the little Tasmanian devil. So I say that because there is an African-American woman veteran out there who's frustrated, who's just pulling her hair out. She's like, I know I'm worth a promotion. I know I'm worth growing, but how come it's not coming? And so I challenge her to take a seat back And one, be okay with the fact that you're frustrated. Be okay that the fact that you're angry. Be okay that the fact you're hurt. But then also say, what can I do for myself to make this situation better? Can I articulate myself differently so that they understand? Can I position myself differently? Can I make more friends? Because at a certain level, politics start to play. Your network starts to work for you. Your reputation starts to work for you. And it doesn't help if you have a great reputation of getting the job done, but you also have a reputation of rocking the boat. So what can you do as an African American woman veteran who's frustrated with the system and frustrated with all of the wrongs that are happening? What can you do to use all of the things you have at your disposal in your favor so it can work? Is there a mentor who you look up to, who you're like, look, I just want to teach me how you operate? I didn't stop to take a mentor on. I didn't stop. There were leaders who, they were cool as a cucumber. And I was like, I wish I could just lead like them. And I never stopped and said, hey, can you mentor me? Can you help me out? Because I'm frustrated. I want to move up, but I'm stuck. Go ahead and reach out to someone else who's higher ranking and who's just like cool and say, hey, can you help me? I need a mentor. Like, I need somebody who's going to help me get through, not just somebody who's going to just talk about it. Yeah. So my adversities, a lot of them, I have to say, were things I couldn't control immediately and my reaction to them. I can talk about the military sexual trauma, the racism, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, I did not react well to a lot of it. And I think that would have made the difference. And so now today, I see things differently. And when I run into a problem, I take a step back and I think, how can I react to this in a productive manner where it's going to help me and other people? Did I answer your question?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like that a lot. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, nice and clear, because I had to put my headphones in. There's a lot of noise in the background. But yeah, I think what you said, spot on, honestly. I think a lot of times we make impulsive decisions based on our emotions. Mm-hmm. And it's so important for us to slow down, take a deep breath, and think about how we can effectively, change the situation and push through something that's holding us back. So
yeah, and the thing about it is, everybody gets frustrated. So it's not just an African American woman issue. It's not a Black woman issue. The problem is we don't have that leeway. We don't have that extra space like a white person does, like someone of lighter complexion does. We don't have that instant credibility. As soon as you see a Black woman in uniform, you just automatically assume she has an attitude, that she's tough as nails and she's like vinegar and salt. And we just don't have that leeway like other people do. So we have to be smarter. We have to be more strategic. We have to be a little bit more political. It sucks because I'm not a political person. I'm like, A is A, B is B. I'm black and white. Like, let's just get down to it. And as you move up the chain of command, you have to be able to finesse and get in those tight spaces where people don't really want to let you in. How do you do that? So when you do lose your temper, people listen, as opposed to, okay, she's having another tantrum. We just don't have that leeway. We don't have that wiggle room, that space to show our frustration. People expect us to come out of our face. They expect our tone to change. They expect our voices to change. They expect us to stomp around it. So we have to do the opposite. So I'm not saying that like all Black women feel this way. I'm saying as a Black woman in a position of leadership, being frustrated with the system, I behaved in a way that wasn't productive to me. And I had to learn. Once I got out, I was able to see with clear glasses, and I was able to learn how to do things better, how to network, um, and how to finesse a little bit more. And I wouldn't have learned these lessons had I had those experiences while I served and been so frustrated. So I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying, as a Black woman, we socially, we're considered at the bottom, and we are not given the room to feel, the room to be disappointed. We have to dig in with a smile on our face.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Because there's already this.
Put up our fist, people
Yep.
see this, and they take it seriously because generally aren't kicking and screaming, and we went against the stereotype. So when we do say, hey, this is not right, they're like, okay, wait a minute, I have to listen.
Yeah.
That's my experience. Don't text me.
Don't, like, for real though. Okay, so I did a little digging on your website, and I absolutely love this. So I read some of your feedback, and one of your clients wrote, before working with Rolanda, I was frustrated with no one to really listen and provide objective feedback. After my first few sessions, I learned how to think through the noise in my mind that I truly knew what I wanted to do. She helped me to modify my thinking so I would doubt myself less and instead take action. I learned it was okay to make shifts in the plan and not to feel insecure about it. My time with Rolanda resulted in a laid out plan, peace of mind in the process journey, and confidence in my decision making. So I absolutely thought that was beautiful. She gave you like the feedback. I mean, you can't deny it. So tell us what it's like for a client to work with you. How does your service continue to provide such a great opportunity for veterans?
Okay, so I feel like I'm an accountability monster. I give my clients the space to say what they need to say and to get it out. I give them the space to feel vulnerable and to take charge and to do what they want. But I also hold you accountable. And I help my clients create goals. They create the goals, and I help them create goals that they know that they can achieve to build confidence. So when it's time to make bigger decisions, they're confident because they've had a lot of little wins. I don't really respond well to excuses. And I will push my clients. I will push them to think a little deeper. I will push them to reach a little higher. And I serve them like, what do you need from me? I serve them. So every client's a little different. What do you need from me? How can I use whatever expertise or knowledge I have to help you? I don't hold back. I'm a giver. So if you're like, look, I need X, Y, and Z, and it's part of your goal, then I'm like, okay, here's X, Y, and Z. Or if I'm like, listen, I'm not good in that area, but I know 3 people who are, here's their information. But I give them everything I have. Like, as long as you fight for yourself and you want it more than I do, you have all of me.
Oh, that's so good.
I really
so
want
good.
you to succeed, but you have to work.
Gotta work. Yeah.
You have to work. It might be at your own speed, which is fine. You have to open up and tell me. You got to tell me if like, hey, you're pushing too hard, Rolanda, or that's not what I want. Okay, I need communication. I need you to open your mouth and say something because I can't read your mind. Yeah. So I'm all about making sure when my clients leave that they're ready for someone else to take over to raise them to a new level, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not about coaching you so you can stay with me forever. My goal is to coach you so when you leave me, you are strong enough to take on another coach or build yourself up more. You're not in the same place. And I don't promise anything. I'm not in control of your results.
Yeah.
But if you say you want to do X, Y, and Z, let's roll up our sleeves. Let's get to it.
I love
So
it.
I'm like your biggest advocate outside of themselves.
Yeah, and everybody needs that cheerleader, that support. So I love that. That's so good. So I want to end with this. Your service is undeniably effective. How do you plan to continue to leave such a major impact? And what drives you in wanting to continue to serve people?
My goal, my deep down inside goal is to touch millions of lives. Veterans and non-veterans, but mostly veterans. But millions of people, millions of veterans. I want to make a wave of change on the tiniest level to the biggest micro level. I want to help the community of veterans so they understand that no matter where they are, if they're in their business, if they're in the workplace, they have the right and can totally choose whatever they want to do. There is no other right. You are your regulation. You set your own limits. You can make as much money or as little money as you want to. You can make your own corporate ladder, or you can stay within the confines of the corporation you work for. All of it's okay, but you make your own decisions. And so it's okay to be comfortable in those decisions and to live authentically in that space, because there's no one else to tell you that you can't or you shouldn't. We are, for good reason, we are programmed and trained and bred and raised to follow the herd, because guess what? That's how you serve the country. Everybody has to be on the same page. You have to have the same mentality about growth and development. But when you get out, you got to rely on your own wits. There's no one else to tell you the rules. So now you're in this wonderful space of creating your own rules. And the hardest part is to create your own rules and understand it's going to be okay. Yeah. That takes years, that takes time. And if you haven't been at that position before, you don't understand what the veteran is going through. Regardless if they have any mental health issues or not, regardless if they've been deployed or not, they don't understand the mindset shift that they lived on Earth and now they're coming to Mars. And so now, like, I have to speak Martian, I have to eat Martian food, I have to dress like Martians, I have to act like Martians. What is happening?
Yeah.
You can live on Mars and be an Earthling and be good at it and get paid really well. That's my why. That's what I really want to do. In this season, I am working more with commercial clients and working more with government clients. I just became a vendor of 2 counties, school systems in the
congratulations.
South Carolina. Yay.
That's good.
So that avenue, and I'm expanding my commercial presence, just so I can help more people, be there for them. Like, what do you need from me? How can I help you? What's the problem? If you need me to customize something, I'll do that. But let's talk about what your needs are so you can save money. Because at the end of the day, corporations want to save money.
Yeah.
They're not going to help veterans. So I'm going to help veterans so you can save money.
I like it. I love it.
So everybody can be happy.
Yes. Okay. So I read your background on LinkedIn, and you've been self-employed for a very, very long time. So what is it like being a Black female entrepreneur, and what advice do you have for young girls trying to do the same?
First of all, to be an entrepreneur is a roller coaster. Oh, Lord, you are going to be right. If you don't like rides, don't do this. If you're not risky, don't do it. Because there's this GIF out there that shows like this peaks and valleys. Like women, you're like, oh, I'm gonna make it, I'm filthy rich, and then the next day you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go bankrupt some more.
Yeah.
You know, you have to like a certain level of torture. I love entrepreneurship because I'm bossy and I like to do things my way and I want to make a difference and I want to create my own feeling. But not everybody is down for entrepreneurship, and that's totally fine.
For a young girl trying to do the same, what advice do you have for her?
The advice I have to you is to be okay with dreaming and be okay with setting boundaries so that you can reach that dream. So if you want to work 4 days a week and make $3 million a year, don't participate in anything that's not going to lead to your $3 million a year in your 4-day work week. Don't adopt a business model that is contrary to what you want. Mm-hmm. And that speaks against your goals, because your values are your business values. You might tweak the wording a little bit, but your business is you until you're no longer relevant in your business and you'll just get royalty checks. It takes a while. So sit down with yourself and get to know yourself. Identify what you really, really want. If you want to take a trip on a hot air balloon, okay, what are you going to do to help lead you in that direction? Your business is just your vehicle. You can get another vehicle. Nobody keeps a vehicle for their lifetime, right?
True. Yeah.
Be okay with mistakes. That's where the growth is. You know, be okay with pain. Be okay with crying. That's where growth is. The best work you can do for yourself is on you, though. Because you can have the 101 things you need to do to make $1 million, and your mind is all jacked up. You have poor money habits. You don't believe that you're worth $1 million. You're not charging correctly. You're scared to get out there. You're really counterproductive to the 100 ways you can do it. So work on yourself. Work on yourself. And failure is part of it. So just get comfortable with failing. It's not true failure if you learn from it and just do it. Listen, in 2019, my friend told me, she said that her name is Lisel Diaz. She's the CEO of Full Belly Life. Mm-hmm. And she said 2020 is going to be the year of the Black woman. And it is. Because if you look at it, these major organizations are hiring Black women to be CEOs and VPs and leaders of this, that, and the other. Black women are creating more businesses every day, and we're learning how to do it well. You know, we're learning how not to make the same mistakes. You know, we're learning how to get out of our own way. We have a rising, I think, for leaders in getting post-secondary education.
Yeah. You're talking about like beyond bachelor's degrees.
Yes, like college, you know, getting your bachelor's.
Oh, any bachelor's degree. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, master's degrees, doctorate degrees. Like look on LinkedIn. Look on any of the social media. The doctors are popping up left and right.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We have businesses coming out the wazoo because we've had to learn how to make space for ourselves. If you're not gonna make a space for me and all of my blue hair, my pink lipstick, and stickers and plaids and whatever, I'll make a space for myself.
Exactly.
I'm gonna figure out how to serve you and still be myself. So this is a great time to be a Black woman or a woman of color and start a business. because there are set-asides waiting for you. Corporations and government organizations have money sitting in a pot waiting to pay you, waiting to pay an African American woman, service disabled if you have it, veteran if you have it. They're waiting to hire you to do something that you are great at, something that you love to do. I know we got people trying to pick us off by the millions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more of us who are doing great things.
Yeah.
Be okay with blaze your own path, unapologetically.
Yep.
You're going to change clients, and your ideal client, your business might pivot all the way around. It's okay, because guess what? This is the year of the Black woman, and it's not going to stop.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Oh, this was so much fun. I had such a pleasure speaking with you. You're hilarious. You're hilarious. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that concludes our interview. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to share?
If you want to learn more about me, you can find me at LASTCO, LASTCO.vet, VET, LASTCO.vet, VET. And if you want to reach out to me to work with me, or you have questions, all of my information is on the website. And thank you for having me.
Yes. Everyone go check her out. She's amazing, especially if you're a veteran and you want to, be involved, a part of her services. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this interview. It was a pleasure.
Stay safe.
All righty, good talking.
Bye.
Bye. That was fun! Oh my gosh! Guys, that was so much fun. I truly enjoyed talking to Rolande from LASTCO. If you guys enjoyed this video and want me to do more interviews, be sure to hit that red subscribe button. Don't forget to turn the post notification bell so you can know. We had a rewind right there. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so you can be notified every time I post a video. And you know what we do here. Without further ado, stay on top, Team Toppers. I love you, but Jesus loves you even more. Pray out.